A moment that changes everything. Have you ever seen a moment where one choice could flip your entire life upside down? Picture this, a buzzing auto shop in the heart of Chicago, thick with the smell of motor oil and tension. Right here, Jayden Carter, a 21-year-old mechanic with grease-stained hands and dreams bigger than the skyscrapers outside, is grinding to prove himself. But today, everything's about to blow up. A biker storms in, his worn leather jacket and neck full of tattoos screaming trouble. His voice cracks as he begs for help. "My kid's in the ER, my bike's dead, please." But nobody moves. Customers whisper, "This guy's bad news." Workers shrug, "Not my problem." The whole shop, manager, mechanics, everyone, chooses to ignore the desperate man, except Jayden. He stands up, wipes his hands on his greasy coveralls and says, "I'll check your bike." One simple move, but it's going to cost him big, his job, his reputation, and a shove to the sidelines. What Jayden doesn't know? This biker isn't just some random dude. And what happens next will glue you to the screen. This isn't just a story about a garage. It's about compassion, the cost of doing what's right, and how one moment can change it all. Was Jayden wrong or right to help that guy? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. And don't forget, if you're hooked on stories like this that hit you in the feels, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out. Let's dive into Chicago and find out what made this city stop and stare. The scene kicks off like a heartbeat pounding in Chicago's core. Ever wonder how one tiny moment can rewrite your whole destiny? Imagine this, early morning in the West Loop, where the city's pulse hums like a symphony of honking cars, jackhammers from construction sites, and footsteps hustling on the sidewalk. Dawn sunlight slices through towering skyscrapers, glinting off glass and steel. But inside Ace Auto, a gritty garage on Randolph Street, the air's thick with motor oil, burnt rubber, and the raw energy of machines waiting to roar. Tools clank, mechanics trade rough laughs, and a staticky radio in the corner spits out the morning news. But in the middle of this chaos, one guy is quietly fighting to make his mark. Jayden Carter, 21, hands caked in grease, eyes sharp enough to burn through any obstacle. Jayden's not like the others in the shop. He's young, quick, with deep brown skin, a tight fade haircut, and coveralls streaked with oil but worn with pride. He works like every bolt, every engine rev, is a step towards something bigger, owning his own shop someday. But at Ace Auto, dreams don't come easy. This place runs on unspoken pecking orders, where jabs about Jayden's age or skin color are just part of the daily grind. "Yo kid, grab me that wrench now," an older mechanic barks, tossing a rag his way. The others crack up like it's just a harmless joke. But Jayden? He clenches his jaw, keeps working, his hands moving with an artist's precision. He's not here for the insults. He's here for his mom, who pulls night shifts at the hospital, and the bills piling up at home. He's here because he believes hard work will open doors. But today, everything's about to flip. The garage door screeches open, and a man barrels in like a tornado. He's tall, leather jacket frayed at the elbows, tattoos snaking up his neck and arms. On his back, Iron Reapers blazes in red like a warning. That's Vince Malone, but nobody in the shop knows his name. They just see a biker, an outsider, a threat. His eyes are wild, not with anger, but with bone-deep fear. His voice breaks, almost pleading. "My bike's dead out there. My son's in the ER. He got in a wreck. I gotta get to the hospital now." His words echo, but the garage falls into a chilling silence. Nobody budges. Customers in the waiting area mutter, "Look at this guy, probably a gangbanger." The receptionist, nails clicking on her keyboard, doesn't even look up. "Take a seat, sir," she says, icy as concrete. "Everybody's got an emergency." One mechanic shrugs, turns away, polishing a tool like Vince doesn't exist. Another customer, clutching a coffee, mumbles, "Why doesn't he just call an Uber, troublemaker?" But then, from behind a jacked-up truck, Jayden Carter stands. He wipes his hands on a worn rag, steps forward with eyes that don't flinch. "What kind of bike?" "I'll take a look." His voice is steady, but his heart's pounding. He knows the cost of stepping out of line, the glares, the whispers, maybe even his job, but he can't turn away. Not today. What Jayden doesn't know, the man in front of him isn't just a biker. And this one act of kindness is about to spark a chain of events that'll make all of Chicago take notice. What do you think? Did Jayden make the right call? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe to catch the rest of this story that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. The answer's coming, and trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. Alright, you just stepped into a powder keg moment in downtown Chicago where Jayden Carter, a young mechanic, is staring down a life-changing crossroads just for doing what's right. Before we dive deeper into the story, into the heart-pounding tension, the jaw-dropping twists, and an ending that'll hit you like a freight train, let's pause for a sec and make something awesome together. This isn't just a video, it's a community, a place where stories of compassion, guts, and unexpected wins touch millions. And you watching this right now, you're part of it. So let us know where you're at. Whether you're sipping coffee in New York, scrolling on a California beach, or catching this at midnight in London, drop a comment now. Just type, "I'm watching from," and tell us your spot. Trust me, we read every comment, and each one's a spark that keeps stories like this alive. But hold up, I've got a question for you, and I want you to think hard. If you were in that garage, seeing a desperate guy with eyes shattered by worry for his kid fighting for life, what would you do? Would you step up like Jayden, ignoring the judging stares and the risk of losing everything? Or would you look away, like most of the shop, because it's not your problem, or you're scared of the fallout? Be real with yourself, and share your thoughts in the comments. This isn't just a question, it's a challenge. We want to hear your take, because your feedback shapes the stories we tell next. Is Jayden a hero or just a reckless kid? Type it out now, and who knows, we might shout out your comment in the next video. Here's a little secret. Videos like this, stories that hit your heart and make you rethink life, only keep going if you jump in with us. If you felt the pulse of this story, the adrenaline when Vince burst in, the injustice when the world turned its back, the guts it took for Jayden to stand up, then do one small thing that means a ton. Hit that like button right now. It's not just a click. It's you telling the world that stories of kindness deserve to spread. And if you want to make sure you don't miss the next chapter of this journey, the plot twists that'll make you gasp and the lessons that'll stick with you forever, smash subscribe and tap that bell. 1 second, and it unlocks a world of heart-driven stories told straight from the soul, right on your screen. You know, every day we get messages from all over the globe, from folks saying videos like this changed how they see the world. Someone wrote, "I stopped to help a stranger because of your story." Another said, "I realized I need to stand up for what's right no matter how hard. Want to be part of this movement." We're not just storytelling, we're building a community that believes in the power of compassion and change. So share this video with a friend, a family member, anyone who needs a spark today. Drop "I shared" in the comments to let us know you're spreading the fire. Now buckle up, because Jayden's story is about to take you on an emotional ride you'll never forget. Together, let's find out what happens when one person dares to stand against the world. Welcome to the beating heart of Chicago, where the hustle never slows. Imagine standing on Randolph Street in the West Loop on a crisp June morning as dawnlight weaves through skyscrapers, casting golden streaks on dew-damp sidewalks. Car horns blare in a chaotic chorus, mixed with the screech of buses and the thud of jackhammers from nearby construction. The air carries the scent of coffee from breakfast joints, blending with the faint smoke from sewer grates. This is Chicago, a city of big dreams, relentless hustlers, and stories waiting to be told. Tucked in this whirlwind is a gritty corner where life feels sharper. Ace Auto, a weathered but lively garage squeezed between trendy boutiques and upscale bars in the West Loop. Its iron door squeaks with every swing, like it's whispering tales of decades past. Inside, the air's heavy with motor oil, burnt rubber, and a hint of scorched metal. Fluorescent bulbs buzz overhead, flickering over steel racks stuffed with tools, cars hoisted high like sleeping giants, and oil stains splattered on the concrete floor. Tools clank, air compressors hiss, and somewhere, an old radio crackles with 80s rock, drowned out by the gruff laughs of mechanics. They move with a lazy rhythm, sipping oversized coffees, swapping crude jokes, and scrolling phones when they think nobody's watching. This isn't just a garage. It's a world with unwritten rules, invisible hierarchies, and stories not everyone gets to tell. But in the far corner, one guy doesn't blend into the rhythm. Jayden Carter, 21, hunches over a Chevy Silverado, his hands dancing with the speed of a street magician. His navy coveralls are splotched with grease, but his name tag, embroidered Jayden, shines like a badge of defiance. With deep brown skin, a sharp fade haircut, and eyes that cut through the noise, Jayden stands out, not just for his youth. He works with an almost obsessive focus, like every bolt and engine hum is a note in the symphony of his dreams. He wants to own his own shop one day, a place where nobody's judged for their skin or age. But at Ace Auto, that dream feels farther than the skyscrapers outside. Jayden's not just working for a paycheck. He's grinding for his mom, Angela, a night shift nurse at Stroger Hospital, who raised him solo. The hospital bills stacked on their kitchen table in their small Englewood apartment are a daily reminder that everything has a price. Jayden's seen his mom slump over after endless shifts, her hands trembling as she counts pennies for the electric bill. He swore he'd ease her burden, but at Ace Auto, every step forward hits a wall. "Yo, kid, grab me that half-inch wrench, pronto!" An older mechanic, Hank, barks, his tone dripping with condescension. The others chuckle, like it's no big deal. Then Hank leans in, just loud enough for Jayden. "Stick to the grunt work, kid." "That's your lane." The words sting like a blade, sharp and familiar. Jayden's fists clench, his jaw tightens, but he doesn't snap back. He just keeps working, hands steady, heart heavy. It's not the first time. The jabs about his skin, his youth, his roots, they're part of the rhythm here, like the staticky radio in the corner. Still, Jayden never slows down. He tackles the toughest fixes, stays late when everyone's gone, and learns complex engine schematics just by watching. He's good, maybe the best in the shop, but that doesn't matter when you're always the kid or the outsider. The manager, Carl Hayes, a former cop with eyes like steel, only notices Jayden when he slips up, ready to chew him out in front of customers. "Carter, focus, don't waste my time." In those moments, Jayden just nods, swallows his pride, and keeps going. He knows speaking up means trouble. But deep inside, a fire burns. He believes if he works hard enough, proves his worth, he'll get his shot. He doesn't know that today. A storm's coming, and it'll start with the screech of the garage door, bringing a desperate man and a choice that'll change everything. You ready to step into this story? Let's find out what's waiting for Jayden, right now. Inside Ace Auto, amid the hiss of air compressors and the clank of tools, a young guy's quietly carving his own path. Meet Jayden Carter, 21, a mechanic with quick hands and eyes that carry both hunger and patience. With deep brown skin, a tight fade, and broad shoulders used to long days, Jayden's not just the youngest guy here, he's the hardest worker. His navy coveralls are grease-stained, but his Jayden name tag gleams like a statement. He belongs, even if not everyone agrees. Every morning, as Chicago's sunlight blazes outside, Jayden dives into broken engines, his hands moving with an artist's precision, like each bolt is a step toward freedom. He dreams of running his own shop, a place where nobody's judged for who they are. But at Ace Auto, that dream feels like chasing a mirage. Jayden's not just clocking in for cash. He's here for his mom, Angela, a nurse grinding night shifts at Stroger, who raised him alone. The hospital bills piling up in their Englewood apartment are a constant weight. Jayden's seen his mom collapse after double shifts, her hands shaking as she balances the checkbook. He vowed to lift that load, but at Ace Auto, every move forward gets blocked by invisible walls. "Yo, kid, grab me that 13mm wrench, chop chop." Hank, an older mechanic, snaps, his voice thick with superiority. The others laugh, like it's just banter. But then Hank mutters, just for Jayden, "Keep your head down, kid." "That's your place." The words cut deep, but Jayden grips his wrench tighter, jaw locked, and keeps going. He's not here to fight. He's here for the bills, for his dream, for the belief that if he proves himself, he'll break through. He doesn't know a test bigger than anything he's faced is coming, and it'll hit when the garage door screeches, bringing a desperate man and a moment that'll turn his world upside down. You ready to see what's next? Let's roll with Jayden. The iron door of Ace Auto flies open with a piercing screech, like the air itself is startled. The staticky radio in the corner fades under the heavy, frantic thud of boots on the oil-stained concrete. A man storms in, tall, his leather jacket torn at the elbows, tattoos coiling up his arms and neck like untold stories. On his back, Iron Reapers burns red, a warning. This is Vince Malone, but nobody here knows his name. They just see a biker, an outcast, a threat crashing their world. His eyes are wild, not with rage, but with a fear so raw it's like his heart's racing to outrun time. "My bike's dead!" he yells, his voice cracking, almost begging. "My son's in the ER, he got in a crash. I need to get to the hospital, please." His words boom, slicing through the clank of tools and the lazy chuckles of mechanics. But the garage falls into a silence so cold it's suffocating. Nobody moves. Mechanics sipping coffee and scrolling phones glance at Vince, then look away, like he's a ghost. In the waiting area, a guy in a gray suit whispers to his buddy, "Check this dude out, definitely a gangbanger, who'd help him?" Another, gripping a coffee, mutters, "Why not just Uber, troublemaker?" The receptionist, Marissa, her red nails tapping the keyboard, doesn't even look up. "Take a seat, sir," she says, voice like ice. "We're all busy, we'll call you when it's your turn." But Vince doesn't sit. He stands there, hands shaking, eyes scanning the room for a shred of hope. "Please," he says, voice dropping to a near whisper. "Just one person, my kid. He's bleeding out in there." No response, just averted eyes and indifferent shrugs. Hank, an older mechanic, smirks, muttering to a coworker, "Let him deal." Guys like that just bring trouble. The whole shop, mechanics, customers, everyone, judges Vince in seconds, not for his plea, but for his leather jacket, his tattoos, his outsider vibe. But then, from behind a jacked-up Chevy Silverado, a figure rises. Jayden Carter wipes his hands on a frayed rag, his brown eyes steady, unflinching. He steps across the oil-slick floor, his work boots scuffing the concrete like a quiet declaration. "What's the bike?" he asks, voice calm but firm, like it's just another job. Inside, his heart's hammering. He feels the eyes on him, Hank's, Marissa's, the customers whispering. He knows the price of stepping out of line, of breaking the shop's unspoken code. But he also knows Vince's eyes, the look of a man the world's turned its back on, a look Jayden's seen too many times in his own life. "A Harley right outside," Vince says, his voice hoarse with relief. "It won't start. Can you help?" Jayden nods, no hesitation. "Let's check it out. Follow me." He turns, leading Vince outside, leaving behind a room full of judgment and silence. He doesn't know this one act, this single spark of compassion, will ignite a firestorm, and what comes next will make all of Chicago take notice. Can you feel the pulse of this moment? Let's dive into what's waiting for Jayden. The air in Ace Auto turns heavy, like the concrete walls are holding their breath. Jayden Carter stands by Vince Malone's Harley, his grease-stained hands gripping a wrench, eyes locked on the engine, but his heart's racing from the stairs burning into his back. The clank of tools has stopped, the staticky radio drowned by a thick silence. Mechanics, customers, and even Marissa at the front desk are watching. Not because of Vince, the biker with the worn leather and tough tattoos, but because of Jayden, the kid who dared break the shop's unwritten rules. He just agreed to help a stranger the whole garage wrote off, and now he's about to pay. Heavy footsteps echo from the office, each one like a hammer on the concrete. Carl Hayes, Ace Auto's manager, steps out, his face red, eyes sharp as steel. Built like a linebacker, with a gravelly voice from his days as a cop, Carl's the law here, and he doesn't take kindly to rule breakers. "Carter!" Carl roars, his voice slicing the air like a knife. "Who said you could touch that bike?" Jayden straightens, wiping his hands on his rag, his eyes steady, but his jaw tight. "Nobody, sir," he says, voice even but strong. "This guy needs help. His kid's in the ER." Carl stomps closer, jabbing a finger at Jayden, his face twisted with fury. "I don't give a damn about your excuses. We got procedures, Carter. No work order, no registered customer, no job." "Who do you think you are?" Vince, standing nearby, tries to jump in, his voice shaky with urgency. "I'll pay. I'm not asking for a freebie. Just let me—" Carl spins, cutting him off. "Shut it! This ain't a charity for guys like you." The word guys lands like a slap, and Vince steps back, fists clenched, but his eyes still pleading. Jayden's had enough. He steps forward, his voice low but sharp, like a fire flaring after years of being smothered. "You call that procedure? A guy's begging for help to save his kid, and you tell everyone to turn their backs." You got a dozen mechanics here, sipping coffee, scrolling phones, but nobody lifts a finger. The shop goes dead silent. Customers in the corner gape. Hank mutters, "He's done for." Carl squints, his lips curling into a sneer. "You're finished, Carter. Pack your stuff and get the hell out, now." The now booms like thunder, making Marissa freeze mid-tap, a customer drop his coffee. Jayden stands there, eyes locked on Carl, but inside, a storm's raging. 2 years he's worked here, taking the jabs, the unpaid overtime, all to keep this job for his mom, for his dream. And now, for doing the right thing, it's all gone. But Jayden doesn't back down. He looks Carl dead in the eye, his voice not loud, but clear and powerful. "I'd rather lose this job than lose who I am." He turns to Vince, who's watching with eyes full of gratitude and guilt. Jayden extends a hand, and Vince takes it, their handshake brief but solid, like a vow without words. "Thank you," Vince whispers. Jayden nods, then turns, walking through the silent shop, past the judging stares, and whispers. The garage door screeches as he steps out, but in his chest, something new stirs, not fear, but freedom. He doesn't know this moment is just the beginning, and what comes next will make the whole world pay attention. Can you feel the heat of this moment? Let's see what's next for Jayden. The iron door of Ace Auto clangs shut behind Jayden Carter with a weak screech, like the place is relieved to spit him out. Inside, the garage hums back to life as if nothing happened. Tools clank, mechanics' gruff laughs flare up, and the staticky radio in the corner drones on with old rock. It's like Jayden's stand for Vince Malone, his clash with Carl Hayes, and losing his job were just a pebble tossed in a pond, ripples for a second, then gone. But for Jayden, stepping onto the bustling Randolph Street in Chicago's West Loop, the world feels different. June sunlight still blazes, but a morning chill cuts through his thrown-on hoodie. His tool bag weighs heavy on his shoulder, not just from wrenches and screwdrivers, but from the wreckage of 2 years' grind. He's lost everything: his job, his stability, the chance to help his mom with those hospital bills piling up. But weirdly, he doesn't feel regret. Instead, something deeper is creeping in, stirring in his chest. Jayden walks the sidewalk, the city's pulse, car horns, footsteps, life, swirling around him like a wild orchestra. He pauses at a corner, watching people rush by, suits with briefcases, food cart vendors, kids giggling with their moms. He thinks of Vince, the biker with the worn leather and desperate eyes, probably at the hospital with his son now. Jayden doesn't know if the kid made it, but he knows he gave Vince a shot, something the whole garage denied. He thinks of his years at Ace Auto, the backbreaking days, the jabs about his skin and age, the times he bit his tongue to keep this gig. "Stick to the grunt work, kid," Hank had said. Jayden tried, believed if he worked hard enough, he'd earn respect. But now, in the heart of Chicago, a bitter truth hits. At Ace, he was never enough. Not for lack of skill, he was probably the best mechanic there. But because invisible walls of bias had already decided his place. Yet in that loss, Jayden feels something new. A clarity, like he's seeing himself for the first time. Helping Vince wasn't a reckless move. It was a choice, a stand for the man he wants to be. He chose compassion over silence, standing up over bowing down. Even if it cost him his job, even if the future's as murky as the city's back alleys, he doesn't feel small. For the first time, he feels free, like the invisible chains holding him back just snapped. He thinks of his mom, how she always said doing right is never easy, but it's always worth it. "You're my light," she'd say, and now, Jayden feels that light in himself, faint but fierce amid the storm. He doesn't know that right now, across Chicago, Vince Malone's doing something that'll change everything. Another storm's coming, and it'll bring a justice Jayden never dared dream of. Can you feel the pulse of this moment? Let's see what's waiting for Jayden right now. Chicago's sky shifts to a golden-orange glow as dusk settles over the West Loop, the skyscrapers shimmering like the city's bidding farewell to a wild day. Jayden Carter stands on Randolph Street's sidewalk, just steps from Ace Auto, but it feels like a whole world separates him from that place. His tool bag sags on his shoulder, packed with wrenches, screwdrivers, and the shards of 2 years' relentless hustle. The afternoon air's got a chill, slipping through his thin hoodie, but But in his chest, a small spark still burns, a spark of pride for doing what was right. He helped Vince Malone, the biker everyone else ignored, even though it cost him his job. He doesn't regret it, but the future's a blur, like the city's shadowed alleys. Jayden takes a deep breath, ready to walk on, when a gravelly voice cuts through his thoughts. "Yo, Carter, hold up!" Jayden turns, and there's Vince Malone. The biker with the frayed leather and rugged tattoos stands there, no longer frantic like hours ago. His messy hair's slicked back, but his eyes are red, like he's been through an emotional meat grinder. "Thought you were at the hospital," Jayden says, surprise mixing with curiosity. Vince nods, stepping closer, his boots thudding on the sidewalk. "I was," he says, his voice rough with feeling. "My kid, he's okay. Surgery went well. I was there when he woke up, because of you." He pauses, locking eyes with Jayden, and in that moment, no walls stand between them. Not the leather, the tattoos, the judgments. "You didn't have to do that," Vince goes on. "That whole shop turned their backs on me, but you stepped up. I came back because you don't deserve what they did to you." Jayden shrugs, trying to brush off the emotion. "Just did what needed doing," he says, but Vince shakes his head, his eyes sharper than ever. "Nah, you did more than that, and I'm not letting this end here." He pulls a phone from his jacket, his rough fingers swiping fast. "I'm not just some drifter biker, Carter," he says, voice low but powerful. "My brother, Tom Malone, owns this whole Ace Auto chain. He needs to know what went down today." Jayden blinks, like someone just splashed cold water on his face. "Wait, your brother?" he repeats, voice faltering with shock. Vince nods, a faint smirk breaking through. "Yep, Tom and I built this from a tiny garage in the South Side. I took off to live my own life, but he's still family. And when family gets treated like trash, he doesn't sit quiet." Vince hits call, his voice turning hard as he speaks into the phone. "Tom, it's me." "You need to get to the West Loop now. There's a major problem at your shop, and a young guy just got canned for doing the right thing. His name's Jayden Carter, and you gotta meet him." He hangs up, looking at Jayden with eyes full of gratitude and resolve. "You gave me a chance to be with my kid," Vince says. "Now it's my turn to make sure you get seen." Jayden stands there, mind reeling, at a loss for words. He thought his story at Ace Auto was over, but now, a new door's cracking open, and what happens next will make the whole city notice. Can you feel the beat of this moment? Let's find out what's next for Jayden. The vibe in Ace Auto's West Loop shop turns tight as a drum. Fluorescent lights buzz overhead, casting a harsh glow over a small meeting room that smells of stale coffee and paperwork. Jayden Carter stands at the double doors, heart pounding, unsure what's waiting. Just hours ago, he was fired for helping Vince Malone, the biker everyone else shunned. Now, after Vince's surprise call, he's back. Not because of Carl Hayes, but because of Tom Malone, CEO of the Ace Auto chain. Jayden pushes the doors open, his tool bag still heavy on his shoulder, his grease-stained coveralls now like a badge of grit. Inside, Vince stands in the corner, leather jacket slung over a chair, his eyes steady, determined. Across from him is Tom Malone, a man in his 50s, salt and pepper hair, sharp eyes, no suit, just a rolled-up shirt like he's ready to wrench on a car himself. "You Jayden Carter?" Tom asks, his voice deep but resonant. Jayden nods, keeping his tone steady. "Yes, sir." Tom leans forward, hands braced on the table, eyes locked on Jayden. "Today my brother Vince walked into one of my shops, begging for help to get to his kid in the ER. The whole world here, mechanics, staff, customers, looked at him like he was a threat, like garbage not worth their time. They judged him for his leather jacket, his tattoos, for not fitting their mold." He pauses, his voice dropping, laced with controlled anger. "But you, Jayden, you saw a person. You gave him a chance nobody else would. Because of you, Vince was there when his kid woke up from surgery. You didn't just fix a bike, you saved a family." Jayden swallows hard, emotions surging, but he stands tall, hiding the tremor inside. Tom steps closer, resting a hand on Vince's shoulder, who nods with eyes full of gratitude. "Vince isn't just my brother," Tom continues. "He's the guy who helped me build Ace Auto from a rinky-dink garage in the South Side when we had nothing but our hands and a dream. He chose his own path, but he's always family. When I heard how this shop treated him, and you, the only one who did right, I lost it." He turns, voice like iron. "Carl Hayes, your manager, is gone, effective immediately." Discrimination, whether it's looks, skin, anything, has no place in my company. Jayden blinks, mind spinning. Fired? He echoes, voice cracking with shock. Tom nods, a slight smile breaking through. And that's not all. Tom slides a stack of papers across the table. Jayden, I checked your record. Your performance is in the top 5% of our entire chain. Zero complaints, and every customer you've served walks away smiling. At 21, that's rare as hell. He taps the table. We're promoting you to lead technician here, with a raise, full benefits, and a team under you. I want you to help me rebuild this shop, make it reflect the values you showed today. Jayden's breath catches, his eyes blurring with emotion. Vince steps up, shaking his hand, the grip tight and real. You saw me when nobody else did, Vince says. Today, I'm making sure you get seen. Jayden nods, speechless, but his handshake says it all. A new door's swung wide open, and what happens next will echo across Chicago. Can you feel the power of this moment? Let's see how this story wraps. As dusk paints the West Loop in golden orange, Chicago's skyscrapers glow like they're cheering a fresh start. Jayden Carter steps out of Ace Auto, no longer the young guy getting sidelined, but a lead technician with a team to run and a wide-open future. In his hand, papers from Tom Malone, CEO of Ace Auto, mark a recognition he never dared dream of. Hours ago, he lost it all. His job, his stability, his hope, for daring to help Vince Malone, a biker the shop shunned. But now, through his compassion and guts, Jayden's found a new path. Carl Hayes, who fired him, is gone, and the bias that weighed this place down is cracked, at least for now. Jayden stands on Randolph Street's sidewalk, breathing the cool evening air, feeling a freedom he's never known. For the first time, he's not just surviving, he's living, becoming the best version of himself. Jayden's story isn't just about a Chicago garage, it's proof of compassion's power in a world too quick to judge. When the shop saw Vince as just a biker with a beat-up jacket and tattoos, Jayden saw a dad fighting for his son. He stood up, knowing it could cost him everything. And that choice didn't just change his life, it shifted how a shop, a community, maybe even us, see kindness. In the darkest moments, when bias and apathy seem to win, Jayden shows us one small act, a nod, a hand extended, can light up a world. So what's the takeaway? Look around you today. Maybe it's a stranger on the street, a coworker misunderstood, or someone pushed aside for not fitting in. Don't turn away. Step up, like Jayden did. Ask, how can I help? Even if it gets you judged, even if it costs you, know that compassion's never wasted. It might be the only light someone needs to push through. Be the one who sees the person, not the surface. Be the one who changes the story, even for a moment. If this story hit you, if it's got you thinking about how you can make a difference, do one small thing now. Hit that like button. It's you telling the world kindness deserves to spread. And if you want to keep rolling with us, diving into more heart-pounding stories from the soul, smash subscribe and tap the bell. One click, and you're in for a world of hope and change. Plus, share this video with a friend, a family member, anyone who needs a spark today. Drop "I shared" in the comments to let us know you're spreading the fire. Let's build a community that believes in compassion's power, where people like Jayden aren't just seen, they're celebrated. Ready to make a change? Start now, and let's write the next story together.